Hey guys, welcome to Rich with Cars. On this week's episode, I'm going to give you guys a quick update on the Genesis GV80. My model that I have here behind me is a 2021. If some of you don't know, I already covered the issues on the Genesis GV80, the 2021 model, and I wanted to give you guys sort of an update on some of the new issues I've been dealing with this Genesis GV80. The reason why I'm doing this is because a lot of you found that to be useful, especially new buyers and other buyers that are looking for used Genesis GV80 models. I hope that you guys can find this useful, and if you guys are dealing with some of the issues as well, if you're already an owner of a GV80, feel free to comment below. Guys, let's jump in and take a look. So jumping right into it with the first issue, it's not a major one. I think it just requires oiling, I guess you could say, but it's when I raise the driver's side seat, it makes a little bit of a squeaky noise. Let's see if it does it. It did it there a little bit, but not much. I think it does it when there's weight on it, so we'll give it a try once I'm actually on the seat itself. Let's take a look. I don't know if you guys heard that. Nevertheless, I want to show you guys, so I'm gonna have to put the microphone next to it so you guys can hear it. So it does it slightly, but not that much. So I'm gonna have the dealership just take a look at it, maybe oil it just a little bit. So that's first issue. It's not a huge one. Second issue is a little bit more concerning. I've been reading up on the forums that a lot of Genesis GV70, G80, G70, or even GV80 owners are having the same issue as I am. Different owners apparently have been showing different causes of the issue, which is the HVAC. So in my situation, all of a sudden I started feeling, as you guys can see, I have the same temperature on both sides, but one side is blowing hotter air than the other. So this side is blowing super cold air as if I have it like at 65. And this side is blowing probably like as if it's like 75, 76. If I were to bring it lower, let's say to 70. Now, of course, since I have it in auto, the AC will start going up a little bit higher. But the temperature on this side, on the driver's side, doesn't go down. And this side is still very cold. Now, if I bring the temperature up, this is where it gets a little bit odd. The passenger side gets cold. It's cold over here, and over here it's lukewarm, I would say. Some people have been saying that it's the actuator or some type of controller that basically adjusts or controls the temperature settings between the driver's side and the passenger side, or the different zones in the vehicle. Some other people saying that they had just a Freon that was missing, but in my case it's blowing cold air, so it's not like I have no Freon. I know it's blowing cold air because on one side it's blowing super cold. And then some other people have been saying it's the evaporator coil. And people that had the evaporator coil issue basically had to wait about a couple months to get their part to come in. And then, of course, the most concerning issue was that there was one particular user on the forums that basically said that since they did not find a leak in the system, but the system itself was missing Freon, they had to charge him because Freon is only covered for the first 12 months of ownership. And I find that to be extremely odd. Please guys, comment below, because how do you lose Freon in your system if there's no leak? There has to be a leak somewhere. It's probably that the dealership didn't, or the mechanic didn't do a good enough job to actually find the leak in the system. So how would you charge the client after, let's say, 24 months of ownership for Freon when it's clearly a manufacturer's defect? I still wanted to show you guys what my issue is. This started happening now about 2.5 weeks ago. Thank God it's not the middle of the summer here in Florida, so I'm not dying of heat. So there's definitely something going on. Probably I'm thinking the actuator, just because when I do bring it down to, let's say, 75 once again, so now I bring it down to 75, this is sort of like lukewarm. It's not AC, that's for sure. And this is like very cold. It feels like it's at 67, 60, it's definitely below 70. It's very, very cold over there. So I don't think I'm missing Freon. I think it has to do probably with some type of controller or actuator in the system itself. I have an appointment with the dealership in about a week or so. Hopefully they'll be able to take a look at this issue amongst the others that I'll be showing you as well. So the last issue, also not a huge one, has to do with the latch that covers the hinge in the trunk over here. So as you guys can see, this over here is supposed to stay up and it's supposed to be aligned, but you guys can see over here that it's not. Now, of course, I could probably take this portion off over here. It's part of the guard over here, but you know, since the vehicle is still under warranty, I'm just gonna let the dealership deal with it, because if they see that I've been fiddling with it, then they're gonna say, oh, you did something to it. So I'd rather just let the dealership deal with it, and that's it. This is supposed to stay up, but it just basically stuck. It might need a new part. Maybe it's the spring over here that's maybe damaged. I don't know. They'll have to take a look at it. At least it's not something that's disallowing the rear hatch to close or anything. So it's not an issue. It's just maybe more cosmetic than anything else. So we'll have them take a look at this and see what they say. I think it's a simple fix. It's probably just removing this trim piece over here, and then you could probably get access to that area. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick and brief update on my ownership experience and the issues that I've been dealing with on the 2021 Genesis GV80. I really do hope that none of you are dealing with any of these issues, despite the fact that none of them are major, except for maybe the HVAC. That's still not a massive concern. I'm pretty sure that they'll be able to figure it out and come up with a solution. I'm thinking it's probably the actuator. And I hope that this video was useful for you guys in terms of additional issues to look out for on the Genesis GV80. Not sure how many of these issues have been already resolved at the factory level, for example. But if you're looking for a used one, that 2021 or 2022, let's just say, most likely these could be potential issues that you might be facing. At the end of the day, I wanted to say that so far I've been very happy with this Genesis GV80. Aside from the issues on the first video that I did on this one, there haven't been any others. This has been generally a very reliable vehicle thus far. So I've been quite happy. I'd say it's probably very close to Lexus levels of reliability. A lot of people might say or might think that I'm being controversial with that, but I've been a Lexus owner before on the RX 350 luxury package. I'm a current Lexus owner with the LC 500 as well. And I can say that in terms of reliability, they're pretty close so far. I mean, this is my first ever Genesis, and so far so good in general. The issues that I've been facing haven't been that major. Aside from that, the only thing that I can say that Genesis does not fall in par with the Lexus brand is the fact of the service in general, the after-sale service. The dealership experience is not that great. The service in general, I wouldn't say is that great, because a lot of people, commenters, have said in the past that the sunroof issue that I mentioned in my first video was supposed to be covered by Genesis. I'm not gonna make a huge deal about it. You know, I tried to argue with them quite a bit, and I went to 3 different dealerships in total, and they all gave me the same spiels. At the end of the day, I managed to cover it myself, and that's it, end of stories. That's basically it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this one. I hope it becomes useful for you. As always, thank you very much for all your support and the views. Stay tuned for more car content, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.